Good morning, Julian.
Morning. I'm here with Morgana on My Magical Thing. Morgana, it's lovely to have you here. I know you from about a long time ago, kind of reading about this mysterious Wiccan thing that was happening in the Netherlands, never quite making the kind of connection there because it seems a long way away. And then subsequently kind of encountering you in conferences, being invited very generously to come and deliver a workshop, aware of your work with Pagan Federation International, or your interfaith work and work as a priestess of the craft. So it's lovely to have you here on My Magical Thing.
I'm very pleased that you approached me, because we do have indeed a very long history, and of course I was very much influenced also by your work, so it was a mutual respect, of course. And so when you asked if I'd like to join in this this project, it was really strange, because you know how often we miss the obvious. And you've been to my house, you know, I'm surrounded by all the souvenirs. People say, well, why don't you tidy up your Yule cards? But they're not actually. All of this is actually souvenirs I have. And when I was thinking about my magical thing, I was actually going to use something here. But of course, the obvious magical thing in my life is this.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Just tilt it a little bit so we get a little bit of the light on that. Oh, yes. Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Tell us about your magical thing, Morgana.
This is something, when I moved to the Netherlands in 1974, a couple of years later, I actually met my, who would then become my partner, Merlin, Dennis. And in about 1977, he was taking a course in silversmith, goldsmith, and he wanted some kind of design. And he started thinking, and after a while, he'd finished his object and then presented it to me. And what he'd done was to make this pendant. Wow. It's based on the red rose of Lancashire, the Tudor rose, and you can see it's actually a 5-point star, which is not very Celtic. This is not only unique in the sense that he actually combined a 5-fold interlocking knotwork, but it also included this kind of Tudor background or what have you. And of course it was an ode to me, and he gave it to me as you do, as
oh, that's lovely.
Of course it was for me amazing. So that was about 1977. It wasn't until 1979 that we were actually initiated in Brighton, in England. So between 1976 and 1979, although I was in India, of course, for a year, when I came back, that was when we actually started in earnest to start looking for Wicca. So in 1979, we came across these people in Brighton who were prepared to initiate us. And of course, the first thing we do when we get back to the Netherlands is to start a newsletter. And because of the newsletter, we had to kind of think up names. Who were we? And this was the actual beginning. And it suddenly was spontaneous. Merlin and Morgana. Oh, okay. So who are we? And spontaneously came out Silver Circle. To cut a very long story short, this then became the logo of Silver Circle. So although this pendant was not actually even part of my Wicca background, it became the very thing, the magical thing, which would literally, you know, it's my life. 40 years. It's 40 years. We just celebrated 40 years of Silver Circle and the launch of Wyrd, which is now, of course, online. But every day of my life, I see this logo. So it's so embedded in me that it's when we talk about a magical thing, and we were just talking about influences and how certain things almost resonate in that you're being called. So for me, this the pendant is not just not a symbol of love, because that certainly was, but it also reminds me every day about the interwovenness, our connectedness, not only to our own ancestors, the Tudor Rose, my connections with Lancashire, my family connections, the 5-pointed star and the unendingness, but it's always there. It's always there. And when I see it unconsciously, I'm thinking, but that's who I am. That's really who I am. So if we're talking about a magical thing which has influenced us, then absolutely, absolutely. And all the things around me which have been given to me also as magical implements all kind of fit into this journey we have. And it's also a source of continued inspiration. And of course, I'm always reminded of the thing that brought us together. And as Doreen Valiente has also written about this idea of love and the union, you know, we talk about the great rites, and this is still part of my makeup. You know, when people say to me, what is the central mystery of Wicca? I know people talk about the legend of the goddess and what have you, but for me, it is and always will be the great rites. The sexual union, which we talk, I mean, this is coming back to your chaos theories and all the rest of it, but I do actually definitely believe the universe moves in this kind of cosmic orgasm, and it really does. And I remember you saying, you know, we're all stardust, and I can, in that sense, almost say absolutely. You know, I've seen that, I felt it in my bones, I felt it in my blood, I felt it in my spirit, and it just permeates everything. And I think this again is a reminder that we are connected to the starry heavens. We are one of Dennis's favorite quotes was, we are I'm a child of the earth, but my race is of the starry heavens. It's always been this connection that we've had between the earth and the stars, but also that time is this inner time, dream time, ancestors, the whole works, that we are a product of so many things, but also
all of those connections.
Yes,
that's, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also it reminds us as well of our responsibility. You know, if we talk about the great work, and I was always reminded, you know, my oath that I took, and I don't see myself as a servant of the gods, absolutely not, but I'm definitely in service. You know, some people say, oh, I feel I'm so. No, I am a priestess.
So, priestess, let's have another look at your amazing magical thing, please.
Yes. So
here we go. Oh, Morgana, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. That's really, really appreciated, and thank you for that amazing story and for showing us some of the, at least on the physical level, the heart of your magic. That's really appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you for letting me share this, because, you know, sometimes this is the one thing I remind people as well. We forget to ask people what brought you here. I recently did an interview with Sarita, and I asked her about her early childhood in South Africa. She said it was wonderful to actually hear these stories. And I think the heart of the story as well is that continue to listen and share our stories. So this is also that I would ask everybody to perhaps sit back, listen and enjoy, but also open up to new ideas and that kind of inspiration. So thank you for asking me. And as I say, sometimes the obvious things we just completely forget, but it's those things which are actually the most important. So
Morgana, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your magical thing.
Thank you, and it's been lovely to see you again. And I know that Nikki's in the background somewhere, but to all of you, I love the blog of Baphomet. I was just reading, and I continue to read. So let's support each other. And thank you ever so much for giving me this little bit of time to share with you.
Loads of love. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Bye-bye.
Bye.